In this video, I want to start working on visually making the change. So currently, if I go through and click on the items and I remove it over, as you can see, it's removing the items, but it's not actually removing them visually from the widget. So we need to fix that. So what we're going to do is when we call a transferred item, we are modifying the items array, and we currently have it set to be replicated. So we want to transfer this down or fire off an event with onRep. So whenever it changes, we iterate through whoever might have the inventory open and update, them. So we're going to keep an array of characters here. Or let me rephrase that. We're going to kind of keep it locally. So whenever we open it, we update the characters that are, have it open. So if we have it open ourselves, or better yet, actually, I'm kind of being, let's see. The onRep is going to fire on each client. So that way we could get the player character at index 0, and that would essentially work the same way. So I think that's probably going to be a decent route to go. So what we're going to do is set this up to be replicated using whatever onRep we end up making. So we're going to do a U function, void onRep underscore items. And this is going to be our onRep. Let's create that implementation. I want to move it down below our begin play, like so. And inside of here, I want to use the U gameplay statics, get player character, get world at index 0. So if you can't find this, you have to go through and include Kismet gameplay statics.h. So this is going to return our characters. So if a inventory shop tutorial character equals cast a inventory shop tutorial character, and we're casting from the U gameplay statics. Remember, casting does do a null pointer check, so we are safe. So we are good to go there. Did I forget one? Yes, I forgot one of the closing braces. So if our character is valid, we do character, and normally we call open shop. But what we can do instead is pass in a different variable, or sorry, not a different variable, but a update shop instead. We're going to do that. So pass in the owning shop. What we want to do is simply call update shop. And we're just going to pass in the items to the function instead. So let's go to the shopkeeper. We're going to call update shop. And we're going to pass in, our items array. So that way we essentially are going to do the exact same thing. However, now that I'm thinking about it, we have a minor problem. So we don't have to do the exact same crap over and over. What we're doing is we're opening our inventory section from our UI. That's essentially all we're doing. So we're just switching the widget switcher. Well, we're already going to be on that. So what we're doing is, this will already be set. That'll already be set. We're just going to clear the shop and shut the visibility. So now that I'm thinking about it, it'll probably still be the better route to not actually have the update shop. Instead of just do open shop and pass in items that way. Let's see. Oh yeah, we got to pass in this as well. So that way all the items in there keep their state, because that's kind of the important thing of how all this is actually going to work, is they have to keep their state. So we have to know, is the item owned by a shop? And if so, who's the owner, the shop owner, and all that kind of fun stuff. So I almost forgot we have to call the onRep as well. So because for the server to work, we have to trigger that. So inside a transferred item, we go through and modify the array, obviously. We also want to do the onRep items. So that way it'll trigger on the server too. So that way the server updates. So let's give that a try and just kind of see roughly what it looks like. So I click, and as you can see, it goes through and it updates each click to bring it over. We can still go through, close it, everything's all the same. I press I to open my inventory. I can go through and use the stack, go through, add more items, and everything's working because we kind of have just universally used functions. And they work. So, out of curiosity, I want to go ahead and modify the shopkeeper a bit. I want to change the amount of elements that it has for the med pack. I want to change this one to like 5 and just see what happens when I use all of them and see if anything comes up in the log. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that disappears and I can't click it. Perfect. So our inventory system is working exactly the same because we duplicated it. Then we obviously have the 500, which there's no way in the world I could click fast enough. But let's confirm we reopen the inventory. That's good to go. We open this. We are good to go. That's just going to continue to remove our hunger, which is a good thing. So we're good to go. Now we just want to test on the client. Let's try that. See if there's any obvious issues. So we click it. And that's getting transferred back down as well. And that's updated by the server, so the server has authority over it. So that's perfect. Okay, so we obviously have an issue here, and that's when we call the onRep, I believe. So we have to kind of figure that out. So that's due to the server. So we want to do a check inside of the onRep. So if our character is valid, we want to check and see. So if character is locally controlled, then we call the open shop. Because otherwise, we don't want to do it. We have no reason to. So this will also make it so this code only runs on the owning client. We're not running it on every single client that, that we get for index 0, so to speak. I kind of explained that wrong. But anyways, we open the client, we do the update, we close it, and as you can tell, that error is gone. So let's test with 2 clients, and we'll do it as a listen server for testing. Let me actually do new editor windows. Of course, this one would be massive. Set this about there, and we'll bring out the client window. All right, let's view the inventory on the server. It's not going to want to fit unless it's full screen. Go figure. So we're just going to alternate. So I pick it up on the client as well. So we have this one's the server and this one is the client. So I want to face this way for the client so we can see each other on the back. So front facing is server, back facing is client. So on the client, let me pick up 2 of the medkits. Go to the server. As you can see, it's updated. So on this guy, on the server, I'll just grab 10 loaves of bread and 1 medkit. Go back to the client. As you can see, it is updated. I'll grab the last one, go to the server, and it's gone. So it's updating between anybody who has access to the inventory. So I can probably show you a little bit better. Let me shrink up that widget a little bit. So that would be the shop inventory. Be this guy, and let's drag it to the right. I guess like that. Will it fit? Dang nabbit. Okay, so it fits a lot better. Try to make it as small as I can, so about there for the server. Here's the client. Oh, so I can just shrink it that way, and that'll make it a better fit. Oops. Okay, so here we have the client on the the client on the left and the server on the right. Server, I'm going to grab some medkits and a bunch of loaves of bread. And as you can see, it updates perfectly on the client. I can do the exact same thing on the client and on the updates on the server. So whoever is accessing it is going to receive those updates. Last thing I want to confirm is client with client. and I'd imagine this would be fine. I'm not really all that worried about it, but you never know. So client's going to be looking that way. Client 2 is going to be looking that way. Click it. Use the last one. And that is good to go as well. So we can use all the items we have. That updates. That updates. So we are good to go. So we now have a live updating and functional inventory. Well, shop system. Now the only thing we have to do is check the price. So if we look at our, that we're going to do in another video, but if we look at our shopkeeper, you can see we have the item cost. Well, currently, we are not actually grabbing any items. So we need to do a comparison to see if we have the actual currency that we need to even use it. So like if I pick up a med kit, I need 50 coins. So I pick up those, I have, well, 50 coins. Perfect. I click it, I can buy it. And then I want it to take out, you know, the value from there. So that's the other thing we're gonna have to worry about. I'm debating on keeping, I think I'm gonna do the currency differently. I don't know if I want to yet, but I'll figure it out. Anyhow, that is going to be all for this video. If you like what I'm doing and you want to help support me, you can find a link to my Patreon down in the description below, where I have a Team Deathmatch series just for Patrons, as well as you get early access to all of my videos. If you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to join my Discord server that's also linked down below, and I'll try to help you out. So, I'll see you in the next video.